What still has not recovered from the COVID-19 shutdown? Hours of some places were reduced and they never went back to their old hours, and a couple of restaurants closed their dining room and went to takeout only, and they've stayed that way. Prices too. COVID supply chain prices are never going back down. Doctor appointment availability. I legit do not understand how the doctor-patient relationship is supposed to work in 2023. I feel like if something comes up, my options are A. Urgent care, B. Make an appointment for 3 months by now. By that point the issue will either have resolved itself or have gotten bad enough that I need to resort to option A. What do people really mean when they say, talk to your doctor? You are given $2,000 that you must use to splurge, as in, no paying bills or whatever, just use to spoil yourself. What are you using the money on? Part of me always wanted to move away from my hometown just to live my life and experience new things, but I wasn't sure if it would work out. After I graduated college I got a job and moved 1,000 miles away. Probably the best decision I ever made. I was stuck living a miserable life in San Francisco where I was born and raised, eventually lived in the suburbs, but still always a new bed. My bed is several years old and is not very comfortable. Yes, I want one of those purple mattresses. Or really any mattresses that's not lumpy like the one I have now. I have the original purple. Got it about 5 years ago. It's still absolute heaven. 100% recommend their pillows too. You have just convinced me. If anyone gives me $2,000, I will buy a purple mattress. Anyone want to give me $2,000? Anyone? Flying my biological mother and her husband out, then taking them to a Michelin-star restaurant in town. Then using the rest of the money for a night out on the town. I was going to be homeless last year, and they took me in for 6 months. I wanted to earn enough to repay them properly, but I couldn't at the time. Depending on the restaurant, you might need more money, winky face. Well, the flights are only from a state over, so maybe $250 total. Leaving me $1,750 on dinner and a night out. Michelin star doesn't have to be $1,000 a head menus or anything. Wife and I ate quite a nice meal in Michelin star restaurant for about 80 to 90 euros each, in Amsterdam. Unless you go for some really expensive wine, I can't imagine that it would go over $1,000. It was in 2015. Now that I think about it, so prices could have doubled by now. The last thing you googled is your fetish, so what are you attracted to? Wii Sports Resort. The music slaps. 9 inches in cm? That is one huge cock you got there. They're converting to metric, so you have to say it like, that's quite the large todger you're packing. Or if you're Canadian, oh yeah there bud, you got quite the fucking a moose knuckle in your pocket, it's like the neck of a goddamn cobra chicken, it's that long, all the ladies would want to go for a rip on that there, bud. Yes, you are correct. The last thing I googled is my fetish. Don't leave us hanging like that. What is it? With their username, it has to be macrophilia. Or just dreaming of something more giant. What's something that you were afraid of trying, but once you tried you were completely sold on it? Part of me always wanted to move away from my hometown just to live my life and experience new things, but I wasn't sure if it would work out. After I graduated college I got a job and moved 1,000 miles away. Probably the best decision I ever made. I was stuck living a miserable life in San Francisco where I was born and raised, eventually lived in the suburbs, but still always lived in the Bay Area, and always fantasized of getting away from it all. Life happened and I had an opportunity to move to a different state away from city life, and boy, I don't miss city living at all, and I wish I had the courage to abandon my career earlier and gtfo. I'm making much less nowadays, but I can literally walk to my job down the street and everything is so easy now. I used to have to make a fucking day out of grocery shopping or getting a burger downtown from the place I liked. Also, I'm not constantly paranoid about getting my car towed or paying like $20 for an hour of parking at that parking garage on 5th and Market. I have a picture saved in my phone of a parking garage that charged a $65 a day max and like $14 to $20 an hour or some shit. I could go on, but I'll spare y'all LOL. Swimming. I was afraid of the water, then my mom signed me up for swimming lessons at the Y and that gave me confidence. I currently swim laps for my cardio exercises. Good parenting by your mom. Every kid should be in swimming lessons. The younger, the better. In the US, the #1 cause of death for children between 1 year old and 5 years old is drowning. For children 5 years old and older, drowning is the second most common cause of accidental death. Even if you don't expect a kid to be in a situation where they can drown, like around a pool or a beach, they find ways to end up in dangerous situations around water that were hard to foresee. I started swimming lessons when I was 2 years old and continued building skills with an instructor until I was 11 or 12. When I was a teenager and young adult, I was an idiot who took a ton of risks in the Great Lakes, other lakes, oceans, and pools. I definitely found myself in some shitty situations that would have required rescue if I hadn't been taught to swim. Every summer, I see people who clearly weren't taught to swim as children need lifeguard fire department rescue on Lake Michigan and ocean beaches. Often, it's a family of people where a kid finds themselves in deeper water than they can handle and their family members try to save the kid, but end up in trouble themselves because they don't know how to swim. It's very sad, and sometimes ends in tragedy.